Thank you. Okay.
Your audio is off, Sammy.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So I will present Maximizing Your Time by HSI Excellence. Um, and let's get started. And please have the PDFs up if you guys can. Okay. Si yo puedo, tú puedes, meaning if I can, you can. I'm a CEP nursing major. I'm a full-time student with NAU. I work part-time and I a full-time commitment with my family. So if I can manage my time, you guys can as well. Okay. So welcome, scholars. Just a little bit about me. My name's Samantha Hernandez, but I'm also known as Sammy. But let's get started. So usually what I do when I do get set with my schedule, I select a task that has to be done that day and in urgency. And second, what I do, I establish limits between each task that I'm gonna do. Okay. Um, and dedicate it to your personal life as well. So if I have to go to school and it takes me 20 minutes, I take in that account 20 minutes. So let's say I go to school at 8, I have to leave the house by 7 because there's 20 minutes of commute and also preparing me for the class. So just knowing how to set up your day and then cultivating assertiveness and saying no when you feel overwhelmed. So something that's being undertaking. So whenever they're like, maybe a classmate or something like that, or a parent or whoever it is, know when to say no because you can overwhelm yourself with certain tasks. Even though you can delegate it, try to set a boundary between that. Okay. And then the importance of maximizing your time, it increases your productivity um, by maximizing your time and accomplishing more in less time. So by knowing how to manage your time and maximize it, you'll prioritize tasks, avoid procrastination, and stay focused on what's most urgent that day or that week. The ultimate this leads up to just using more of your productivity and completing the goal of that um hour or 2 hours that you spent doing that task. Secondly, it reduces your stress. I can't emphasize that enough. When you procrastinate, you're working under pressure, and usually just get frustrated, you don't know what you're doing. It's easier to feel overwhelmed when you have a lot to do in a little bit of time. So just stay organized, plan out most of your weeks or by months. Usually what I do is a week, so I see everything out in the open written. And also it avoids burnout. Being realistic with the time you have and setting achievable goals, it prevents from overcommitting and spreading yourself too thin, which then can lead you to burnout. Okay? And I have the PDFs if you guys pull them up. So here I have a weekly schedule, which is a morning and a afternoon, and it gives you from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. And in the bottom, it has a to-do list. So maybe for that week, you have an exam, so to-do exam, to-do study group. And then in the bottom, it's just additional notes. You can print this out, or as well, if you have a computer and you can write on it, or iPad, I would highly suggest using this PDF. And then this is a day, so what you have to complete in that day, and I send it to you guys in your email. And from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., that's what you could use. Usually what I do with this, in the 6 a.m., I'm putting waking up. And then a little less by like 12 a.m. So right there, I would put go to sleep, like stuff like that, just to know what you're doing at what time. And then there's a video. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. So it's just going to play a section where it says just how to maximize your time, not how you feel when you're out of time, basically. So I'm gonna put myself on mute so you guys can hear the audio. This is around 2 minutes, okay?
Sammy, the audio can't be heard.
It can't be heard. Hello?
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Okay, give me a second. I think my mic has to be on. Okay. Let me know if you can hear it.
Still no.
No? Okay.
Maybe check the volume settings. Or open the link to YouTube.
I'm sorry?
Or try opening the link to the actual YouTube page.
Give me a second. Let me know if you guys can hear it now.
That it's already such and such a time. I have been struggling with time for as long as I can remember. My family
Huh?
assumes I'm going
Yes,
to
we can
be.
hear it now.
Okay,
My
thank you.
daughter believes that I'm ADD. She said, because all of the things that you do in your life point to that. And one of the signs of people who have a million things going on and who are able to operate at a high level is that they just don't have a good pulse on time. I hate struggling with time. And even when I try to set my alarm earlier or get up earlier or give myself more room, I still end up somehow thinking I have more time than I really do. It is a thing for my life, and I know it. It's just something I will always have to work on because I'm not naturally wired to leave large amounts of space for me to get things done. And I'm optimistic about what else I can do with my time. However, here's what I don't like. I don't like the feeling that I'm running late. I don't like the feeling that people are waiting on me. I don't like the feeling that the plane's going to leave or I hope to God I made it. I know that being late is not good for me because what it does in your physical system is that your adrenaline starts pumping so that you can move faster. Your heart starts working harder. And if I'm pretty correct, then cortisol is probably flowing all throughout my core. And I know that those things aren't good for me. But yet and still, this is something I struggle with, even though I'm working to balance out and change some of the habits that I have to be a more on-time person. Running late and running out of time is a horrible feeling. It's horrible when it's time to go to church. It's horrible when it's time to get to work on time or make a meeting. It's horrible when I have to get my kids to practice. It's horrible when I'm showing up for other people and don't want them waiting on me. It's a horrible feeling. And you know what else is a horrible feeling? That you are running out of time or wasting time in your life. If you turned 20 and couldn't believe you were 20 and where did my teenage years go? You know what I'm talking about. When you turned 30 and you thought, oh my gosh, am I really adulting right now? You know what I'm talking about. When you turned 40 and thought, good Lord Jesus, am I 40? How did this happen? You know what I'm talking about. If you turned 50 and thought, even if I live to be 100, I'm halfway through. And the likelihood is I probably won't live until I'm 100. You know what I'm talking about. If you are 60 or 70, 75, or even 80, you know what I'm talking about because every stinking day is a gift and not promised. The truth of the matter is, every day, whether you're 20 or 80, is a gift and it's a day that's not promised. And every one of us should be cognizant and careful with how we use our time.
So I'm gonna stop the video there. It's a 30-minute podcast. It's very good if you guys want to watch it. Her name's Crystal Evans first. But we'll get back to the slide. Does anybody have thoughts over the video or comments about it? Okay. So when trying to find pockets of time, we all have 24 hours, the same 24 hours. So if you guys want to get out your PDFs that I sent over to you guys to start looking at it or even mapping out your time. So start by mapping out your commitments. So school, work, even sleeping time or occurring obligations like maybe babysitting or you know, anything else with family or friends. So this will give you a clear picture of what your time, where you're using your time and where it's being occupied. And then secondly, when you're going through your schedule, what you want to do is identify gaps between your classes or between the obligations that you have. So these can be up to like 20 minutes, 5 minutes, you know, anything between that. These can be times pockets to be used for studying and completing your assignments or reviewing your lecture notes or even doing homework at that time. So if you have an hour gap between classes, you can use this to review a few pages of your textbook, making flashcards, studying them. The third part would be utilizing breaks and commute time. So maybe you're commuting, you're hearing your lecture. Just use the time that you have so you don't waste it. Instead of just scrolling through TikTok, we're all guilty of it. Going through TikTok, we spend an hour and then it's out of our way. We can't get time back. Or maybe like Snapchatting or Instagramming your friends there too. So using breaks to finish smaller tasks, let's say you need to finish an assignment, a small assignment, finish it then so you can get it out of the way more, and also engage in like productive activities. So like studying your textbook and stuff like that. So additionally, if you have a commute to class that's like an hour, maybe you're coming from Avondale and you need to go to Mesa, use that time to listen to educational podcasts or recorded lectures. That's what I do. I listen to since I'm in nursing school, I usually listen to something that's pertaining to that class. Let's say I'm learning about a medication and I don't get it really well. That's what I'll be hearing on the way to class. Also, prioritizing and planning ahead. So make a priority list of what you have to do from most urgent to least urgent. If it's in 5 minutes, you can finish in 5 minutes and it's still bothering you, do it right there and then continue. But if it's something that's lower urgency, just put it at the bottom of your list. Let's say you have 10 things. Start doing the hardest and then go down from there, or however you prefer. But to have an idea of what you have to do that day or that week or that month. I usually plan out weekly just to see what has to be done in that week. So controlling procrastination. We all do it. We leave stuff to the end. And what I do is I keep a list of what's important to me. So that's what I do. And then usually I get a notebook. It doesn't have to be a fancy planner. Get a white piece of paper, anything. And it helps out a lot. And you're gonna delegate. You're gonna be like, okay, this is what I can do today. This is what I can't do today. Okay, I'll put it for tomorrow. But it's easy to feel overwhelmed whenever you're looking at your stuff, but split up to 5 days, 6 days, or whatever has to be done, or due dates, that too. So just writing down the important stuff and urgent things that you need to do. And then how long they'll take. So if you think that studying will take 2 hours, maybe not. Break it up to 4 hours so you can have an hour to study, 30 minutes to take a break, because what you want to avoid is burnout. You're gonna be tired. So and if, from those 30 minutes, okay, continue. You have an hour to study, and then again, you'll have 3-4 hours in total to even study for that. That's why I say 3 hours. And then let's say you have an assignment due with one of your professors, your English professor. Chunk it into smaller pieces. Let's say it's a 5-page essay. Do it in 5 days or 2-3 days to 2 pages, 1 page this day, and then the rest to, correct it. And then, how I said, divide your large task into smaller pieces, because you'll see that 5-page essay, you're not going to want to do it. But if you do cut it down into a smaller portion or even outline it, how you're going to do it, it's going to become a lot easier and doable. Don't overload yourself with extracurricular activities. If you have a overloaded agenda, you will feel frustrated, but leave time for yourself and for anything else. Maybe you have a family. Leave time for that. So know yourself, know your limits, and don't forget certain stuff that is for you. So also have your personal time. It's not all school, school, school. If you know how to manage your time and maximize it, you'll have time to take a break, to spend time with family, spend time with friends. It's doable. It's limited, yes, but you have those pockets of time. And then lastly, I want to show you guys that every college has a tutoring center, and each of them, it's on my Canvas page, but for all of them, they have certain subjects, they have certain in-person, online, so please utilize them. They have it at Australia, Glendale, Phoenix, Gateway, and Mesa and South Mountains. Please use them. Also, they have a counseling department as well. They can help you. I know college is hard, and I would recommend if you do need it, use it. They don't charge you. Does tutoring center doesn't as well, but utilize them. They are free. Okay. And then manage your commitments. You have a lot to do. You have a job. You have school. You have maybe sports, friends and family. So don't stress out. But too many commitments can't be stressing. Also, let go of some commitments that you can't. Delegate it to someone. Hey, can you do this for me real quick? Maybe your parents like, hey, can you wash the dishes? Be like, okay, I'll do it in 5 minutes. Or your brother or sister, can you do it for me, please? And don't commit to things that aren't important to you. Things that don't pertain to you, try not to commit them to them. It is difficult to pick up a favor or anything, but know your time. And then also accept that it's a work in progress. Nobody gets this the first time. No, it's difficult to manage your time. Hours go by, and sometimes I'll be studying and I forget I'm even studying. It's 4 hours later. So it's a work in progress, you guys. Nobody's perfect. You guys got this. Also, creating a routine, facing your responsibilities, and with confidence and motivation. Like, know when you're there. Also, setting time for each task. No, overestimate how much time you're going to use, because that's only the way you'll really know how much you'll be using. So let's say you have an assignment for 30 minutes, you know it's going to be 30 minutes. Use an hour. Overestimate always. Always overestimate the time you have. You don't want to underestimate, because then that's when we tend to become very agitated and frustrated. Avoid distractions. Put your phone away. Social media. Maybe put some headphones on and put lo-fi or maybe noise canceling headphones. Take breaks. Please take breaks. You don't want to be overwhelmed. You want to be refreshed to do all of your tasks. And then thank you for coming. Do you guys have any questions? Also, this is an exit survey. Please do it. This will count to the raffle that we'll have. And it just has a few questions if you guys can answer them. Does anyone have questions regarding time management or anything else? We're here to answer.
Great job, Sammy. Thank you so much for sharing those tips. I found them all very, very helpful and honest. Sometimes being honest with yourself about things that do waste our time deserve a reminder. So I appreciated that. I think you did a great job. Are there any questions from our audience? We have about 6 folks, students visiting. If you have any feedback or questions for Sammy, I'm sure she'd be happy to answer. Alrighty, well with that, I'm gonna just pause the recording. Feel free, if you all do have questions, you could still speak up, but thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys.